So it's first of all, what attracted you both to the project? Maybe we start with David and then go to Rob.
Well, when I read the book, it was really the dialogue that excited me. It was it's Don DeLillo writes amazing dialogue. It's very specific. It's has a stylization that's unique to him, and it's sort of like Harold Pinter dialogue or David Mamet dialogue. You can always hear it. The thing is that Mamet and Pinter write plays, and so you hear it. And DeLillo writes novels, and he's never had a book that's been made into a movie before. So, reading the book, I was starting to hear the dialogue, and I was saying, I really would love to hear this dialogue spoken. It's unique, it's terrific, it's funny, it's bizarre, it's trenchant, it's cutting, and that was really what the hook was for me to make this book into a movie.
No.
Mine was even simpler. I kind of read a lot of scripts, and it's frustrating to see this almost the exact same script being made, movies being made like every year. And so when something comes which is genuinely different, it stands out almost to the point of ridiculousness, and I guess that's the kind of what I want my career to be.
Great. So maybe you can tell us what it was like to work with David.
Should I leave the room?
No, great. I mean, there's like, because I've never really worked on something where a director has ultimate control, basically. It looked like very few people were actually questioning decisions, whereas normally my experience on virtually every film that I've ever had is just it's unending series of people, everyone questioning the director, like everybody questioning everything about everything. And with this, there was a very much a confident atmosphere on set, which I thought was great. It's a totally different experience. You don't feel like, a lot of the time you feel as an actor like, I've got to take more control of this movie, and you can't. Like, you can't at all. And it ruins both people's jobs if you're trying to do someone else's job. And on this, it was really one of the first times where I just could really lose myself. So it was nice.
David, maybe you can describe your first meeting with Rob and kind of how you knew that he was the guy to play Eric Packer.
Well, we met really on the phone. I mean, it was really it was phone calls over a period of maybe a week or 10 days, I think. Really, I could tell that he knew it was good, and that he wanted to do it, but that he was afraid of it. Afraid in the way that actors often are afraid, really, which is they don't want to be the one to screw it up because they're not good enough, or they'll be on the set and they'll realize they don't really understand it and they can't deliver what they want. And the few acting gigs that I've done myself, I've had exactly that same thing. They say, "Are you sure you want me to play this? Because there are other actors who are much better, And in my case, that's very true. But in Rob's case, no, he was absolutely I had no doubt that he was the right guy. And in talking to him, I was even more convinced. And it really just a question of us understanding that we knew what we were both getting into.
So a little bit on just how you prepared for the role.
It was strange because the first time I read it out loud, the script, when I was by myself and I was in Louisiana. Like it's weird to read a script and you have the desire to actually immediately want to speak it, and I had this kind of instinctive idea of how to do it before I'd even finished the script, and then I spent I went up to Toronto for 3 weeks, and spent the entire time I was there systematically destroying all my instinctive ideas, and then once we started shooting, going back to them anyway. But yeah, almost every bit of preparation. The only thing which really helped was just accent stuff, and I worked on that a lot.
Great. And then for David, what do you hope audiences take away from this movie? Like, what do you hope they're talking about when they walk out of the theater?
I have no idea, really. I mean, it's because it's interesting. I mean, it's not like you're creating a movie so that people will think differently about capitalism or even think differently about you as a filmmaker or anything. You're creating this sort of organic kind of life thing that you hope is alive and does have a life of its own. I mean, honestly, and it's such a cliche, but it is like having children. I mean, you ultimately they become their own creature, and you don't have anything to do with them other than watching them from a distance, you know. And in a way, the movie's like that. So it's not as though there's a message, you know.
Great. We'll let you guys get to lunch. Thanks
Okay.
a lot for
Thank you.